project from a collective. The collective is called Chalo Best, and it's a name that we chose because it signifies the ability to be mobile, using mobiles to be more mobile, using the public transportation system. BEST is the public service, public transportation system provider in Bombay. So that is the name we're using. But the model we built is completely open, and it's completely open for anyone to use in any city. And we've constructed the model in such a way that basically anyone can use our software. And with a little bit of local application work, coordination with the local service provider, you can provide very, very accurate and very, very useful information about trip planning in whichever city you're in. So what I'll do is very quickly tell you about how we did it in Bombay. Have we gone off there? Oops. The projector just went off, so never mind what's on the projector screen, but it'll help me be a guide. It'll just help me if you sort of, so that we cover everything about. So basically what we do is we allow people to access information on simple mobile phones. So since we know that the primary user of public transport in a city like Bombay is a person who can't really afford to ask for information. But not asking for information is very expensive. It costs you time, and it gets you perhaps the wrong place because you didn't get to, you took a bus to the wrong place, or you hung around and you missed the right bus because you didn't even know it was going to the place you wanted to go. So there is a minimum cost of access, and that's the cost of sending one SMS at the moment. So for the our lowest entry point, okay, good. Our lowest entry point is in fact a single SMS. If you send a single SMS, you will get an SMS back telling you which bus goes where. If you have a smartphone, and if you have web access from your smartphone, then you can get much more information about the same journey. Because you can find out, for instance, is there a way of taking 2 buses to get there? How much time does it take to get there? All this information is available with us, but we can't actually make it, we can't transmit it through SMS because the message length is too short for that. But it doesn't matter, at least we can give primary information to people who can, who can access it for the cost of a simple SMS, which is typically 1 rupee. So, that I said, how did we put the project together? We worked as a collective. We don't have an organization per se. We're able to enter an event like this because we are supported by the Free Software Foundation India, which is a registered organization. So officially our entry has come in through FSF India, and we're members of FSF India. And we used a bunch of different people. This is where the software is put together. As you can probably not read it at a great distance. But we use completely open free standard software like OpenTripPlanner, OpenStreetMap, Django, Python programming, and that's basically what puts it together. And we have a bunch of really, really smart people, and they all came in as volunteers. And that's an important thing. That's a model which can be replicated anywhere. If you just make your project, if you do the little bit of groundwork that is necessary to get your local service provider to give you the accurate information about how their service runs, which is what we get from BEST, we get the actual schedules from them. And it's not like their schedules are way off. I heard some criticisms about DTC, and I know that these things are real. Okay, but it doesn't mean that just because they have a fixed schedule that the bus will come on time. It's a city, there is congestion, there are real things that come in the way of running an accurate service. But also these services don't get feedback from their users because they were not designed to get feedback from their users. So we are the interface that makes it possible to give public feedback, crowdsourced information from users, actual users, who are actually asking which bus goes where. And we know that this can be enhanced to a great level as we continue with the project. We know that we can enhance it to, say, give specialized services to the BEST for something like tourism.
30 seconds, please. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Yeah.
Things like that which are not considered very important by people, say the corporators, okay? The corporators only care about basic transportation. They don't care that tourists need to use the public transportation system, and therefore the public transportation system needs to be graded and have a graded value system delivered to tourists, for instance. And that's just one category. There are many other categories. And in other cities, there are many other ideas that can come up. So basically, we think we've done a reasonably good job in putting together an information system that has a strong support infrastructure behind it, which is replicable and scalable right across the country. So that's what I have to say.
Lovely. Any questions from the audience? Because one of the things he did mention is it's scalable, replicable, and they've got an open source system and all that. So it's very interesting. So any questions from the audience? Here? Okay. I just have a quick question. If we have to do it in Delhi, what do we have to do? Or
Basically, it would, yeah, okay. Can I answer your question?
I just wanted to understand what's the differentiation from other transit systems running on mobile. For example,
this thing. Keep it closer.
The question is, what is the difference in the system we are providing and other systems which may or may not be commercial?
no, even commercial. For example, today there was a presentation by Smart Shahar, especially for Mumbai.
Okay, okay. For what, for Mumbai?
Smart Shahar,
For auto rickshaw sharing,
it's for all sorts of commute.
all sorts of transportation. Okay, so one of the differences is, I think, that we are a completely voluntary and we completely believe in free software. So we think that that is a very sound mechanism to allow for the scalability and replicability of the idea itself. Second thing is, we think that crowdsourcing is an important bit of information that can help to make such a service far more accurate and timely. For instance, the schedules work for 4 months at a time, okay? But if we have instant information, say on rainy days, we would be able to provide much more accurate information about which services are actually working on time in which parts of Bombay. Because Bombay is a city that is highly affected by rains, for instance, and so on. In other cities, there will be other problems. And that's exactly where that local involvement, which is very much part of our structure, you have to have a strong local human element in your design.
All right. Thank you. All right. Thank you.